Hey there, you're listening to the Light FM's Girl Talk podcast, brought to you by the Stoner Group and UBS Financial. My name is Carol.
This is Alicia.
Hey, I'm Tricia.
And today we are talking life in the unexpected. And we've had a member of our family here experience some of the unexpected lately. And so you want to kind of set the stage for us and tell us what's been going on in your world?
Absolutely. So it's funny, I've used the phrase, you get that call that changes everything, or you never know what's going to happen next, or appreciate every moment because you're not promised the next. I've used those statements many times, and I've meant them, but I've never really understood them the way I understand them now, because just a few weeks ago, it was a normal day here at the Light, and I had done the morning show, and we had gone into prayer, and it was a Friday, because I remember I was like, okay, here I'm going to go back to the gym, and I'm going to go pick up some groceries, and had it all planned out, right? Sitting at my desk, and my cell phone rings, and it says Dad's cell, my father's cell. They had actually stayed with me. My father and my mother had stayed at my house the night before to help me with my kids because my husband was out of town. And so my mom and dad had been at our house, and I had chatted with them a little bit. And so I was kind of surprised when my dad was calling me again. I was like, oh, maybe they forgot something. Yeah. So I answered, I'm like, hey, Dad. And that's when it all happened. A voice came on, and she said, I'm not your dad. I'm so-and-so. I don't remember her name. But I'm with your dad right now. There's been an accident, and your dad is okay. I'm with him, but the ambulance is coming, and your heart rate just goes through the roof. I'm like, wait, what kind of accident? Okay. Right. And I'm asking her different questions. And I said, how's my mom? Because I knew they were together. And she said at that point, I don't know about your mom, but the ambulance is on their way. And I was trying to just figure all this out. And Carol was so kind. She just scooped me up. And we actually went to the accident scene. And that's when we realized how bad it was. It was tragic. It was tragic. It was a head-on collision. And the result of it was 2 days of my mother fighting for her life in the hospital before she passed away. And, it was at that point that we realized we didn't want her to hurt and suffer. We wanted her to go to Jesus, and she did. And my father is still nursing several broken bones and injuries, and he's in a rehab facility and working hard to get better. But it was that moment that my whole life changed. And I realized I am not the same person that I was earlier in that Friday before that phone call happened. And wow, what a powerful reminder that life is fragile. And it is true that we're not promised the next moment. And it is true to love the people that you have around you because you don't know what's going to happen next. And it is true that God will walk you through every moment, as awful and sad and heart-wrenching as it is. I could feel his presence, and I know that was because of prayers, but talk about the unexpected, that was it, and it still is.
Well, and I'll just say this, to watch you as your friend, because I know Alicia and I both were like, what can we do? But to watch you walk through this with such grace and such strength has been an inspiration to me. And I texted you the other day, and I have been so overwhelmed with the way God has continued to use you, even in the midst of tragedy in your own life. And I just want to say thank you for doing that, because that's not easy. And I personally have been so inspired by your example. And I want to say that publicly because I know that you'll never tell it. Hey, that's what Carol Davis told me. That. You'll never say that. But it's truly, our family here at the radio station, I have had numerous conversations with people, and they're like, she has inspired me, and you have done that. And I think in inspiring others, you have truly honored your mom and all that she stood for. And so I just will say God's hand on you and his work in your life has been so evident over the days that have come after that terrible Friday.
I really treasure those words, and I don't feel like I deserve them because I know myself that I have been a total disaster, wreck, fall on the floor, sob, cry. I want my mommy, God. Why did you take my mommy? There are those moments. What I can say is that the prayers of friends have made such a difference.
Yeah.
And you girls and our friends who listen, praying and loving, and it just is a wonderful reminder of God's love. And I'm constantly remembering that this is not the world that we're living for.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is an important world, and yes, we have things that we're doing here and people that we love here, but this is not it. And now I see that so much more clearly because my mother is there, and she is enjoying the reward of a race well fought, and so that's important to me.
Sure. And, I will say this. Anytime you go through something unexpected like that, it seems like to me your faith is the first thing that you kind of question,
Yeah.
I mean,
like, why me? Why
right.
did this
Yeah.
happen?
Why God?
Why? You have
Why
the
my
power
mommy?
to change this. Why didn't you change it?
Yeah.
My 9-year-old asked that. He
Yeah.
said, "Why
that's
did
hard.
God not save Moo?"
yeah.
Oh.
And that just breaks your heart in that moment. But what I have seen in your life, Tricia, and what I have just admired so much is that the promises of God have not changed for you. And that's what you have clung to in this time. You know, in a time where you could have, gotten really angry with God and said, and you have those moments. And I don't want to sugarcoat this because I know you have your moments.
Yeah,
and I know that there are
that's true.
times that are hard, but that's all part of the process. But I think that's one of the things that's so powerful about this community that we're building here with Girl Talk.
Yeah.
Is that you have friends to go through, walk through this with you day by day by day. And that's why we want you to be involved with a local church, and we want you to be, you have community around you. I know there at the hospitals, your Bible study girls are showing up and loving on you. And
Well, that was one of the things that made me feel better because my heart broke.
yeah. Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I remember our program director came around the corner and told me I didn't know that Carol and Tricia had left. And he's like, "Hey, Alicia, I just want to let you know there's been an accident." And my first thought was like, okay, there was an accident. Like, I wonder what happened. And I didn't think serious. I didn't
Right,
think
yeah.
I didn't think anything was serious. And then I texted Tricia and she said it's bad. And, and then it was in that moment, it was so hard. My heart was just broken. But what made me feel really good in the days going forward was Tricia has this huge community. She's got friends at the station. She's got listeners that are friends. And,
Yes.
and she was getting tons of text messages. And we kept saying, do not feel like you have to respond to the messages. But we knew that she was reading them.
Yeah.
And that God was
Everyone.
probably placing the right message at the right
Oh, yeah.
time.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And like that made me feel better knowing you had this huge community. And it's just like what you just said, Carol, though. That's why it's so important to participate in a church and find something so that when you need it,
Right.
so that you can be there for others.
Yeah.
But also when you need it, that the people can help you and be near you.
That's
Yeah.
right. I've never been in the position to accept the help. I've often been the one who, okay, I'll pick up your kids, or I can bring a meal. I'm not patting myself on the back, but that's what
Yeah.
you do with other people.
Yes, and
Sure.
it's the right thing to do, and it feels good when
It
you do
feels
that. It's
good.
like you want to do something. Everybody wants to do something.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
But
You
boy,
even said to me that Friday in the ER, I don't know if you remember it or not, but you said to me, I'm used to being on the other side of this.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do here.
it's actually so much harder to be the one to accept the help
Yes.
and to let people in. Yeah, but you have to. If you're going through anything like this, you have to let them in because they can help so much. And then the hugs. And the thing is, when I say I'm having a hard day, I communicate it, and then I'm getting so much prayer support and so much love and so many hugs. And it matters. It matters. So you got to be able to say, hey, I'm hurting today. And honestly, guys, I'm hurting today. This is a tough day.
Yeah.
But I've said that, and I am receiving the love. So I encourage you, if you're going through something like this, to let people in, to be brave enough to let people in and let them know, I'm not strong enough to do this right now. I need help. And there was this moment in the hospital. It was on Friday. It was the day of. And I was in a panic, confused swirl of emotion. And I could not feel God's presence. And I got by myself and I said, God, I need to feel you. I need to feel you right now. I don't feel you. I tell everybody that they can feel you if they ask it. I need to feel you right now, and I don't feel it. And that was the turning point, because I could feel his whispers of peace. I could feel his arms around me. It didn't take away the pain, but I could feel his presence. I could feel him saying, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you in this.
And he's a God who loves us that way personally. We can ask him for those things,
Yes.
And so I think what we want to communicate with you is that if you are hurting today, if you are in a desperate place, or maybe you find yourself with some tragedy in your life, reach out, ask for help. Yeah. I think we as women don't ask for help when we need it. Because Tricia even said one time, she was like, can you just make me laugh? Can we laugh together? And I'm always good for that.
She's real good with that.
And, I felt kind of like a mother hen, like I was trying to protect Tricia because I didn't want too many people to ask questions, or I've kind of felt, protective over her. But it's just been truly inspiring to watch you hold on to your faith so desperately in a tragic situation, in a time where you could have chosen to do something different. And I just want to thank you for that, for living out really what you say on the radio each and every day. I've always told people, like, you remember that little red bouncing ball when they used to play songs on the television? That's Tricia in my life. She is my little red bouncing ball, and I just look forward to seeing her. And I thank you for sharing your story, because I think somebody's going to be helped from it.
I hope so.
And I want you to know. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say thank you to you listening, for the prayers and the love, and it matters so much. And I couldn't have walked the road the same way without it. So I thank you. I just want you to know how much it means.
Well, you mean so much to us and to this family. And we're thankful for this community, for times like this when we can bring you stuff that's, not us cutting up and laughing all the time, but the heavier stuff, because we're real people just like you. We have things that break our hearts and things that hurt and loss that is unimaginable. And we want this to be a place where you feel safe coming and talking. And so if you need help today, would you reach out to us? You can email us at girltalk@thelightfm.org. Want to thank the Stoner Group and UBS Financial for their support of this podcast. We love it so much. We love to gather around these microphones. And thank you for your continued prayers for Tricia and her family. And really for our whole family here, because we hurt with our sister. And we thank you for being a part of this family. Let us know how we can help. And we'll see you next time here on the Girl Talk Podcast.